story. We are closely watching the eastern Gulf or off the southeast coast of the United States in the coming days for potential tropical development. There is nothing there at the moment. Really, all we have is kind of an unorganized area of thunderstorms, and that's likely all it will be for the next couple of days, probably until about Wednesday or Thursday the 4th. So no immediate concern out there right now. This is an area I had highlighted last week before the Hurricane Center started highlighting it this week. Now, over the next 2 days, they're not expecting any development. In the next 5 days, there is a 20%, so a low threat for some organization. And none of the models are overly aggressive with the system developing. Again, near future, not likely to see much. In fact, we should start to see toward the end of the week a lot of that rainfall move from the Gulf into the Atlantic. And that is where we could start to see some surface organization with perhaps a depression, maybe a storm trying to form. Again, at the moment, the model's not very aggressive with that happening. And this is a comparison of where the two models, the Euro and the GFS, are trying to find any kind of surface low pressure. And you'll notice there are kind of several in the coming days with nothing really well organized, basically some kind of elongated troughs. As we get later into the weekend, the Euro kind of focusing on maybe some development and not as much the GFS. So the model's not in great agreement with anything even happening. As I'm mentioning, in the coming days, we're expecting significant rainfall across the Florida Panhandle and the Big Bend area, but most of it will be offshore. Then after this kind of Wednesday, Thursday time frame, we'll start to see a little bit more of a shift toward the Atlantic waters, and that may be where we start to see some organization. In the near term, nothing's really going to get organized. And actually, kind of looking at the upper steering, the reason why is that there needs to be something that kind of kicks that system off. That something may be a developing upper trough that is deepening across the plains. As this continues to deepen farther south, we'll start to see more activity in the upper low, upper troughing. That may try and translate its way. This is in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. That's not where you want the low. You want the low at the surface, you're going to get tropical development. That may start to happen again more off the east coast as we get into this weekend. As far as we're concerned, though, we're going to have this big blocking high kind of keeping any rainfall away from us, which is why our holiday weekend is going to be hotter and drier. Now, there is going to be a window for maybe something to try and form, but as we get later into early next week, upper ridging starts taking over, and you're not really going to see any development at the surface. And in fact, we might get a little piece of that upper low to kind of move our way, maybe triggering a better chance of rain as we get into early next week. So at least in the near term, we're not going to see anything. And even long term, the models are not in great agreement. We did have, and you can kind of see the motion on the clouds here, there is an upper level and surface high just off to our west. But we got into some instability over the area, which helped to trigger a more abundant rain cover today. Got into some big thunderstorms. A lot of the heavier rains that we had moving across the lake really weakened before the metro area. You've got kind of a light, steady rain here. More thunderstorm activity kind of held together as it moved across Slidell and parts of Hancock County. Up into Mississippi, we've had more of the thunderstorm development and still a few showers. It looks like a lot of those weakening across parts of St. Tammany and an ongoing thunderstorm right around Amite. Most of our rainfall in the coming hours will be winding down. And tomorrow, the model's not very aggressive with rain chances for the better part of the afternoon. I'm going to keep us at about a 40-50% chance during the day, but a couple of our models barely bringing us any rainfall. So it doesn't look like tomorrow and maybe even Wednesday a little bit drier, and then far drier as we head into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. As that ridge of high pressure builds in for our holiday, high temperatures going into the mid-90s. Again, we might get that little piece of energy to move across the northern Gulf, bringing us a better chance of rain next Monday.